The Gallagher Shots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hello and welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel for our first preview of the season. Time flies when you're stuck in a transfer window that feels like an absolute existential crisis, eh? It's the first game of the season on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, away at Aston Villa at Villa Park. Yay, great times. Ground that we absolutely love. I'm Joe, and joining me is Andy and Ben. Boys, thank you so much for coming along for this. It's been a long time, ready to get into this. There's plenty to cover. So thank you for joining us. Let's get started. Right, boys. Starting with Newcastle. So it's been obviously an eventful summer, to say the least. I think the big thing going into this game is that Isak's not going to be in the squad. It's pretty obvious. We're not going to be starting with him. He's obviously kicked up a massive fuss, and we're going to have to somewhat improvise, which, you know, Eddie Howe's done before. But on the positive side, we've had a bit of a flurry in the transfer market. We've just signed Chow from AC Milan, a centre-back position that we absolutely needed. Looks like Ramsey and Visser are going to be through the door soon. So, Ben, you know, given, like, obviously the late flurry that we've had, how do you feel with the makeup of the overall squad going into this season, and obviously, you know, specifically this game, given that it's just a few days away?
It's been what a weird summer. It seems like it's went on for forever. Like every day something new's happened, or there's some drama, or I don't know. It's weird. In the space of a week, I went from dreading the game on Saturday to actually now starting to convince myself that actually we're in a pretty good place. And I think we are in a pretty good place, to be fair. I think, obviously, there's the whole Isak drama and stuff. I'm sure we'll touch on that at points, and it's been touched upon by everybody quite a lot recently. But if you take that aside, you look at the positions that we needed to strengthen. I mean, we've signed a right winger, a very good right winger as well, and Elanga, and that's never really been talked about, to be honest. You know, we've got Elanga in, which is great. We've got Chow in now as well, who's somebody that we've wanted for quite a while. Somebody I've rated pretty highly. I think he's got quite a high ceiling. You've probably upgraded the goalkeeping department with Ramsdale. Maybe that's not a spectacular signing that we probably hoped for, but it's still an upgrade in what we had as well. Ramsey's coming in as well, who's a really exciting midfielder. I don't think, and all these players are going to compete for first team places. And I can't remember the last time we went into a window when we actually had that, where we had actually players who were going to push the first team. And that's what we needed, right? Last time we were in the Champions League, we didn't have that squad depth. I expect Wissa's probably going to be done as well the next couple of days. If you put all them together, you take the Isak thing aside, and that drama hadn't happened, I think we'd all probably be sitting here pretty happy, to be honest. Don't get us wrong, it's not spectacular, but it's not poor either. I think you look at each one of those players and think they've all got promise. None of them are really, you look at and think, oh, well, maybe it's Ramsdale, and there's been a few hums and haws about that, but Ramsey's really exciting. Chow's really exciting. If you get Wissa, that would be really exciting. It should be exciting. Like, I'm starting to get excited again now. So bring on the match on Saturday, and probably they'll knock it out of us. But no, I'm actually generally looking forward to start the season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think with Eddie Howe, he's naturally taken time to bed in players a lot of the time. I remember, if I remember rightly, Botman was not supposed to really start as quickly as he did when he first came in, but I think it might have been Shearer. Someone got an injury against Forest first game of the season, and he got an early run out. But yeah, I mean, Andy, I think looking at the squad and let's look at the front three. Obviously, it's looking like it's probably going to be Gordon up front. He's not a natural number 9. I've always said that I've not been a big fan of him. In that position, naturally he prefers that on the left hand side. It's where he gets most of his goals. He's not a big aerial presence, like Osula is. But do you think that's what's going to happen, where Gordon is going to start up front, and you're probably going to see like Barnes and I was going to say Murphy, but realistically, it's probably going to be Alanga, isn't it?
Yeah, the front three is the interesting one, really, because the team's obviously been so set for the last year and a half, 2 years, where predicting the lineup was just a pointless exercise because it was just the same every time. And obviously, this whole Isak thing has just thrown this completely into the air, going back to the days when Isak would get injured and Wilson was injured, and you kind of just have to find a solution. I agree, we've tried Gordon as the 9 before. He doesn't, like you say, he doesn't have the physical presence. He doesn't really have the game sense as a striker. He doesn't get into those positions. It's probably like, other than a centre half, it's that position that you need the knack to do it. And he just doesn't. And the question is really, who else do you put in there if Gordon isn't going to be there? Howe's give Asula a lot of time in pre-season, and as much as we all love him because he's a bit of a banter player and he's clearly really talented, he's obviously not good enough for this level yet. So it's not going to be him. Could Barnes be a striker? He's probably the best finisher in the team after Isak. But again, probably not. Alanga, we have no idea whether he's a central player. What we're really just banking on is having 3 absolutely rapid lads up front who could maybe do something on the break. As for the right-hand side, for me, it's a complete toss-up if it's Alanga or Murphy. You'd think with the lineup potentially being a bit more unbalanced, you'd rather have someone like Murphy because he gives that sort of versatility, especially if you're away from home, a bit better defensively. But Alanga in pre-season, oh my word, how quick is he? It's outrageous.
He's rapid, mate.
That Atletico game, every time he got the ball, he's like one of those Ben Arfa, St. Maximan players where as soon as he got it, everyone's like, go on, edge of the seat, go. And honestly, I know it's like the most basic analysis ever, but he's fucking rapid. Like, it's ridiculous. So I really want to see him. I think away from home, in transition, those 3 running at anyone, even if you don't have a central striker, we could really get at them. And the Villa podcast I was listening to before we came on, they were all really worried about that pace as well. Obviously, acknowledging that we don't have Isak. So, still could be an exciting front 3.
No, absolutely, mate. And I think the nice thing is that we've shown as a squad that we don't necessarily need Isak to score goals, and to win. Yeah, he's obviously our top scorer from last season, and he is pivotal in a lot of ways. But the midfield, chip in, I mean, Barnes, Gordon, and Murphy last season, between them, I don't know how many goals it was, but let's just say an absolute shit ton. Plenty. I think the question is, and I'll just pose this to both of you, is with Isak being out and not having that central point, do we need the midfield 3, that i.e. obviously Tonali, Joe Linton and Bruno, to come a little bit more advanced maybe and help out the likes of Gordon as almost like a second striker at times, provide more options in the box as a second striker to actually knock the ball down to him as that layoff? Do you think we're going to see Bruno maybe advance even further upfield to provide that, and then perhaps, I don't know, Tonali playing basically right next to Fabian Schär or whoever starts the game that deep? What do you think?
I think it's important that, because Gordon, when he plays up front, I listened to an interview with him a few weeks ago, and he was saying that he's not your traditional number 9, and he's never going to be. He was talking about he's not learned the full patterns of playing up front that obviously that Howe asks for him that will require. And he said he'd do a bit better if he'd played up there a little bit more. But he does drop deep. We don't really have. I think that's probably what Ramsey's going to give her, is somebody that actually goes beyond the striker, who actually makes those runs in behind. I know he said Bruno there, but he's not the fastest. You'd probably be looking at Joe Linton really to try and get beyond or get those. But when Gordon gets the ball deep, drag the centre half out and to go in behind them, because Villa do play a ridiculously high line, and they'll go man for man a lot of the time when they haven't got the ball. And this pre-season have been doing that. The 2 fullbacks have been pushing right on, and they've been leaving loads of space in behind. So we are going to get space. We're going to have 3 in the middle. I like to think that somebody is going to go on there. And we probably do need more goals. I think that was one of the things last year. The only criticism you could probably give our midfield 3 is between the 3 of them, it didn't score enough. So this year, I think that's probably, if we're going to kick on, it's something we'll probably need a little bit more of. And especially now, like you're saying, without Isak being in the team, then, it's pretty pivotal that somebody does chip in with goals and helps get over the line, really.
Well, against Atletico, Joe Linton was going, certainly for crosses, he was getting right up there. He had 3 or 4 headed chances. I don't know whether that's just Joe Linton was just getting excited in pre-season or whether that's tactics. But I do think he is going to get up there as that aerial presence. And we have seen Tonali run beyond. He scored a couple of goals.
I was just going to say,
Brentford and Chelsea when he ran over the top.
Well, Villa, Villa, his debut, he scored. I think was a pretty close range in the box. Yeah, like Brentford, like you say, I think all three of them have shown glimpses of being a little bit of a poacher or presence in the box when they need to be. But obviously, you need that like balance. Speaking of balance, I'll take it one step further back. It's nice to see Lewis Hall back in pre-season, full training. Looks like he's hopefully going to start, I think. Do you think? I know he's come back from a long injury. Do you think it's a little bit too early for him? Or what? Do you think we might see Matt Target in there or Trippier in right back, Tino left back? Well, I only say that. I only say that because Target's had a lot of minutes pre-season, but I appreciate it as pre-season, so like it is what it is. I think
Harrison Ashby got more minutes in pre-season.
That's true. That's true. I'm chatting shit.
In midfield.
I know most likely will be probably Trippier right back and then Tino left back, if anything. But what do you think?
I'd love to see Hall.
Yeah. I'd love him to start Hall, but Hall didn't look overly pleased when he got hooked after 45 minutes the other day, and the club were pretty quick to come out and say it was a 45-minute planned like substitution. It's the same with Botman as well. Because I think in an ideal world, both of them would start on Saturday. I think it's probably at least a week too early for them. I think you'll probably see Hall at some point, but I think you'll go Tino left back, Trips right back, and then Burn and Shaw will be your two centre halves. I think you'd ideally like to play them two. And you've got Chow to come back in as well. He'll be on the bench as well, I would imagine, on Saturday. So competitions for places, I think that's a good thing, though. Every one of those players now be looking over the shoulder and thinking, it's changed, the dynamics changed in the last week or compared to last season where Shaw was guaranteed his place. And so was Dan Burn, really. All of them now are pushing to make sure they stay in the team each week. Because you have a bad week, then you chances are you'll be sitting on the bench the next one, which is really positive for us.
That, but also 100%. Just workload management as well. Hall knows he can give it full beans because he isn't going to have to play 90 games this season. So I think as well, Howe's always said he wants 2 11s of equal strength. Obviously, pre-season has shown how weak that second unit is and how unbalanced it all is. Obviously, a long way to go, but with Hall, you just got to say, yes, you are our best left back. You probably would have been player of the season if you hadn't got injured last season. It's we've got so much football to come. Yes, we want to get off to a good start, but let the lad get back into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think the one criticism, actually, that's not the one criticism, but the criticism with getting the players in now is that they've not had the pre-season, which Howe really wanted. I just spoke about, how much he likes to take his time betting in players. But I think by the time the Champions League campaign comes round, and like you just said there, Andy, with that rotation that's needed, you'd like to think they'll be sufficiently bet in that we can start making those changes, that rotation, and not having players exceed so many minutes that cost us injuries back 2 years ago when we had the last Champions League campaign. But it is really exciting. It is really exciting. Like you say, you got Chow in there, which is centre back that we've needed for at least a year, if not 2. 5 years. I know. Well, I say probably. That Dan Burn was the greatest stopgap signing of all time, I think. But everyone really knows that the likes of Botman, when he's fit, and he needs that younger parent to come in. But if Jacob Ramsey comes in, brilliant. He reminds me of a prime Willock, a Steve Bruce Willock almost. But ironically, he's that left-sided sort of player that can drive forward, like you just said before. And I'm really excited to see him come in, assuming it all gets done. But it sounds like it's pretty advanced. I think that's just what we need. A bit of a different outlet. You've got Miley, who can be that strong enforcer that can take the place of a Joe Linton or maybe a Tonali. But Jacob Ramsey's that outlet that we've desperately needed. So brilliant. Is there anything else from? I think Pope's going to start. He's number 1 now. No longer number 22, number 1, which is great to see.
Dubravka's gone. He finally gave it up.
They announced the squad numbers a couple of days ago, and I didn't even realize at first. I was looking through, I was like, hang on a second, Pope's number 1. Oh, lovely.
I'm surprised Dubravka didn't get them to retire the number 1 shirt. He was clinging onto it for that long.
I know. He could have went to Saudi, but ended up going to Burnley. But
now he's an FPL legend, formerly in Pound keeper.
Absolutely.
He's going to start every game. Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. There you go. 4 million quid keeper. Get him on before
There's
the
your
deadline.
FPL tips.
Absolutely. Right. Well, that's everything for Newcastle for now. But next, we're going to talk about Aston Villa. Right. Record, Villa Park. Not great. Our games against them in general have been pretty good. We've actually won 5 of our last 7 games, I think. But just one of them have actually come at Villa Park, which is funny. It feels like they come to us, we absolutely batter them, we tank them. We go to their place, they tank us. It feels like this weird agreement that we've got. I don't know why, but it's a consensual sort of thing, agreement that's going on, that we just like to batter each other at each other's places. Whatever it might be. As you'll remember, we lost 4-1 against them at their place last season. It was an absolute tanking. I think it was between their games against PSG, if I remember rightly, or it was like just after. I remember us thinking, they might be a bit tired after PSG, and then it turns out that they had enough rotation just to absolutely blow us away. But again, it goes around a rotation. Emery was really good at swapping the squads last season for Aston Villa. And it's funny because I think Villa are a squad, essentially, that are being compared to us in recent years in terms of the development, how we're trying to get on, how we're hampered by PSR, but no one's going to talk about that. This time we're going to keep this positive until the predictions. But yeah, they're obviously they're an interesting team to talk about in terms of the comparability. Andy, I think you've been doing a bit of research into their preseason, what they've been doing, the transfers that they've made. I mean, how are they shaping up? Like, what do we need to be worried about? Talk to us.
Well, you say research, I say watching a podcast while making me tea.
That's research. That's enough. That's enough. Quality, ladies and gentlemen.
I listened to a couple of Aston Villa podcasts. One of them with that Dan Bardell, who used to work for The Athletic, or he might still work for them. Quite a well-known Villa fan. And all Villa fans seem to be really confident. They've kind of just quietly they've just sort of had a quiet pre-season. No drama, really. Obviously, there's the Watkins saga, which kind of petered out pretty quickly. The Ramsey sale, they're all sort of fairly neutral about it, because they're disappointed because he's a local lad and he's got loads of potential, but he hasn't really done it for them on a consistent basis, whether that be injury or just generally not being at the races. He's only scored 2 goals in 2 years. That's what they keep saying. That might not be true, but that's what the Villa fans are saying. Could just be copium. But they're in a really strong position. They're in the Europa League. Unai Emery is the Europa League king. They were pretty disappointed they didn't get Champions League, but I guess a lot of teams could say that. They really just had a bit of a weak start and couldn't really make up the numbers. But if you remember, they were right on our coattails all the way to the end, and we were pretty fortunate that we came above them ourselves with how poorly we ended the season. But transfer-wise, they haven't done massive amounts. They signed that new keeper because it looked like Martinez was going to go, and he's not going to be playing anyway because he's suspended, which I completely forgot about. Only Martinez could get himself suspended as a keeper for the first game of the season. So they signed that Bizot in goal. It looks like the left-back Dean is going to sort of be phased out by Maatsen. Likely he's going to start. And weirdly, they mentioned Emi Buendia, if you remember him, saying that he's had a really strong pre-season. He's come back from a loan spell away, I think, at Leverkusen, saying he could fill in at number 10 if Morgan Rogers isn't quite fully fit yet. And they signed another striker as well, which was basically Duran's replacement, which is Evan Guessand from Nice. So not really done anything major, but in a similar sort of position to us, if we didn't have the Isak drama, if we just didn't lose anyone and signed a couple of decent squad players, that's a really good window for them. So they're going into the season just thinking, we can have a really strong start this time. They've got one of the easiest run-ins you'll ever see in the Premier League. They've got, obviously, us, which at their place is an easy game. They got Brentford, Palace, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley. That's their opening games. So they're really going into this thinking, if we beat Newcastle, we fancy ourselves in every single one of those games and we can get an unreal start on the board. So they're confident, and for this game specifically, like you said, it's at their place. They just think they're going to win. And likewise, we probably all think we're going to lose there because of the history. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they do. They're in that similar position to us where Man United and Spurs have just been non-existent. But when those boys are sort of back at the table, how do the likes of us and Villa and Forest cope with it? But I definitely think they're our competition this year rather than, looking up.
Yeah. Well, it's also the first game of the season. It's prone to weird results, just like the last one. Anything could happen. We'll have to see. Ben, mate, you're going down there. You're going down
I am.
to Birmingham. You're going
Ooh.
to Villa Park. Brave lad. Talk to us, mate. So away day. What's your plans? How are you? Obviously, you said you're excited to get there. Like, talk us through your day, man. What are you looking forward to?
I'm getting excited. My lass will not be listening to this, so it's all right. But my lass is going away to see the family down south, so I'm kid free. My lass is away for the night before. It's going to be an early start. I think we're going to be leave. Well, I'm going to be getting up about 5, getting sorted. My friend Chris, who did listen to the pod, he's picking us up. He's been given the short straw driving, so there'll be no drinks for him. I'll be laying him a drink, a few beers on the way down with my friend Graham as well. We're going to go down, get down to Villa for probably about 10:30, 11. Trying to source a cricket. I think there's a cricket club that allows away fans in, because most of the bars around Villa Park, I don't know if you gents have been, they're not very pro away fans. There used to be a bar that used to be able to go into and used to charge you a few.
Birmingham's like that. For all the Birmingham clubs are like that.
Yeah, weird, just they're not very pro. It's weird, isn't it? Because when you go to town, it's totally the opposite. Whereas a lot of clubs, you can't get in anywhere close to the ground. So I'm going to try and get up there early, hopefully well oiled, but by the time I do get up there. And no, I'm just looking forward to first game of the season. It's always hot, so you guarantee the sun will be out. Just going down, having a few drinks, and trying to enjoy the match. It was funny enough, it was the first game I ever went to, actually. Villa Park as a 9-year-old back in 1993, so giving me age away a little bit. And we actually won 2-0. Malcolm Allen scored and Andy Cole. So I'm hoping... I've been a few times since, and that hasn't happened mine, but I'll concentrate on the first time I went down. So no, I'm really excited. It'll be a good game. It's weird that obviously there was this rivalry between us and Villa that's built up for obviously since the whole sub on the tie and all that rubbish on their part. It seems like the last year it's probably because of the whole PSR issue and similarities of why both clubs are struggling a little bit. I think that's probably thawed quite a bit now. But I'd still love to go down there first game of the season and turn them over. It's not be an exciting day and be a hard game. Look, there's no other way of looking at it, really. They're a really good team. Like you said, we just pipped them, partly because of Martinez, to be fair. Like, just pipped them to the Champions League spot last year. But no, I'm looking forward. Probably, I'd expect to see Elanga, but going down there with a bit of optimism, really. It's certainly not a free hit because we're a good team. I think that's one of the things that everybody forgets. Like, we are a really good team. We've got the best midfield in the league. On the bench on Saturday, Ramsey's got a chance of being on the bench. They've just lost. I might be wrong, but I think Bailey's leaving from them as well. I think he's just.
I think they're not sure. Yeah, he could go.
I
mean, Ramsey may as well be on the bench. He's already there. He may as well just hang around.
Oh yeah, it's
only down the road.
I don't know. I'm not. So we'll go to predictions later on, but. They're not optimistic. I think we're a good side. I think everybody's forgetting that we are a really good team. Just hope we start the game off positively, get off to a good start, and then you never know. It's first game of the season, isn't it? Get out of the way and have a go. But yeah, it'll be an interesting game. Really, really interesting game. But yes, really excited for the beers and excited not to have.
Man.
Yeah.
Premier League football's back, man. Can't wait.
Excited for the new Malik Chow. Which, if it goes round and they sing about the Mackhams in the song, you need to go around the entire away end and tell them to piss off and change the line, because I'm not having another class chant be ruined by singing a Sunderland line in it. So
that's my
question to you. I know.
Responsibility's on you, Ben, man. You've got to orchestrate it.
Like, Malik Chow doesn't hate Sunderland. He's been here 5 minutes.
No.
Don't put that in the song.
Well, actually, forget that song starts. One of my pet peeves is you go to an away game, you get some cracking chance, and then you come back to St James the next week, and then it's always orchestrated. It always goes something around that. Yeah, it just loses it. You never get the same chance the following week. So I like that Malik Chow one. I'll definitely give you that. I'll see if I can get it. Recording for the group if that comes out. I'll
give us a lowdown.
I'll send it in. Yeah, they'll do. But no, it should be a good day, gents. It should be a really good day.
Absolutely, yeah. And like you say, first game of the season, anything can happen. It's going to be absolute belter. And whilst the pre-season hasn't been great in terms of results, it's pre-season. It's a bit strange because until this year, Eddie Howe's pre-season record has actually been mint, hasn't it? It's been really good. I think. Well, he definitely won the majority of his games. So this is almost like an outlier in terms of what's happened. However, given everything that's gone on with Isak, given also where we played as well, out in like Singapore and Korea. It's really humid. It's middle of summer. You can't expect them to be at their absolute best. And
really unsettled as well, because they were playing as soon as they landed in Singapore. Then they immediately were then off to Korea and playing immediately as well. It's like,
well, exactly. And what's interesting
that.
is, what's interesting, I think we had our best performances against the likes of Spurs and Arsenal, arguably, when we're out there. And that just kind of shows that they were probably also struggling a little bit in the heat. Well,
they were proper games. They were like proper games, really. Like Arteta, even though he's obviously daft, he said we shouldn't call them friendlies, we should call them test matches. And I kind of agree with him for them, because they did feel like proper games. I was really getting into it. Whereas the ones back in the Cellar Cup and the K-League, All Stars and Celtic, it's like whatever. I think I've seen enough that we're going to be just as good as last season, with a few gaps. But the main issue really is that we haven't had a chance to build any momentum. It's all just a bit slow with the transfers and everything. It's all come a bit too late. But it is what it is.
Well, then again, I mean, listen, I think Newcastle United has historically taken a little bit of time to ramp up into a season. It normally takes a good 6-8 games for us to really get our flow going. The season that we finished 4th, I think we had 1 win against Forest, and then we drew like our next 7 games or something. It happens, like we've just got to wait and see. Things will gel, and once these new signings come in, hopefully things can really kick on from there. But we'll have to see. Right.
I was just going to say just a quick question to you, to see if it worries you at all. I remember a few years ago when we did the tour of the States and stuff, and Howe complained that he didn't actually get a chance to do any fitness work with any of the players. He said that we're a bit undercooked going into the season. And I was listening to Gordon talk when he was over in, I think it was in Singapore, and he was saying, we've done literally no training because we've travelled, got off the plane, played a game. Because of the heat, we've not been able to actually really do much. I don't know if that's a bit of a concern, because it's a little bit one for me that obviously the commercial side of things, as we know, is really important. But I know Howe complained about it before. He much preferred having your local friendlies or playing somewhere and staying over in Austria for longer or whatever else, and having a really long camp. We haven't really had that this year. I know we went to Austria for a little bit, but then there's been a lot of travelling. Then we've came over, trained a little bit, but I just hope we've got I hope people have got the running in the legs to start the season off, really. Because a few players probably need that as well. Because it's been a break for a lot of them.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and you also have to remember... Sorry, go on, Andy.
What I would say, I agree with you 100%, but like with the Cups and the Champions League and everything, Howe is learning from all these experiences as well. So I think him and his team will probably be managing it better than they were last time. Because when he was a Bournemouth manager, they weren't gallivanting off to the States and things like that. So, and I think he will have known about this probably a lot earlier this time. So he's hopefully being able to sort of plan his way around it a bit. But I agree, it's like those days when they've been in the plane doing social media stuff and things like that, they could have been on the ground doing, the burpees and whatever else. But, it's another experience. And at the end of the day, it's all for the better of the club in the future, isn't it? Well, that's what they say. But hopefully.
You have to remember as well that Howe has almost had to play de facto director of football, the coach, the manager, the tea lady, everything, because everyone's basically left or been sacked or what have you. He's clearly had a lot on his mind whilst he's been
playing up front.
Honestly, not the
Where
worst.
did he play as a player? He's centre mid.
He was centre back. Aerial presence, get him up there. Who knows? Him and Tyndall.
He's quite short for a centre half.
4-4-2.
He looked tiny compared to Chow. When you're seeing Chow stand next to him, he's an absolute giant, that kid.
Joe Little looks small compared to Anna. So
I know, yeah.
Massive.
Right, boys. And he's huge. We're looking forward to seeing him. Right. Now, time for everyone's favourite segment. We are the first ref watch of the season. So let's see who is manning the field. Dasmo, take it away.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Ref Watch for the 2025-26 Premier League season. Referee for the opening game against Aston Villa will be Craig Pawson. There's a bit of deja vu there because he also refereed last season's opener against Southampton at St James's, which we won 1-0. And his VAR assistant for the game will be Peter Banks. Quick prediction for the game on Saturday. Everything's going on with Alexander Isak at the minute, so we are a little bit light up front. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. How are the lads?
All right, we're back. Thank you, Dasmo. Now, before I get onto the predictions section of this, just to take a quick moment to say that we will be having a members quiz that's going to be going out very shortly. So if you're not subscribed and you're not a member of the channel yet, please do. You get some extra content for this season. We're going to be putting a lot more out throughout the season for you guys. Really appreciate the support as always going into the season. And don't forget, members get access to the Telegram group as well, which has been absolutely buzzing throughout the summer, mainly slagging Isak off. But it's going to be positive going into the season when we are winning Champions League games and everything's hunky-dory. So it's absolutely fine. We also have a pre-game show that's going to be going out. Roger's going to be taking care of that. So we're going to be having those throughout the season. That's going to be about an hour before kickoff. So watch out for those, especially, if you're a season ticket holder, but you can't get to the away games. This is a great chance to, obviously be part of something before with the build up the game and everything. So we've got plenty going on. Now, boys, obviously the main bit of the show, the one that we're all waiting for, the predictions. It's going to be a saucy match affair, I think. So I'm going to absolutely bottle this, and I'm going to ask Andy to go first because I'm still deciding.
Yeah, cheers for that. We're probably all going to say
anytime.
I feel like we're all going to say the same thing, which is really boring for the first one of the season. But it's like head says we're going to lose, heart says we're going to do something, and it's probably going to be like that all for the whole season. I do think this is a really tough start. I think Villa's pre-season, Unai Emery's brilliant coach. He is on that elite level. He's had a full pre-season with them, loads of momentum behind them, loads of positive vibes and signings, and no real disruption. And going to that place, first game of the season, I feel like the home team does tend to have an advantage, except when you're Liverpool, where they always put you on first game of the season against a rubbish team. But that's just me. So I don't want to say we're going to lose first game of the season because how? So I'm going to say score draw, and I'm going to say 2-2. I actually think this season generally there's going to be no clean sheets. I think teams are going to be scoring left, right, and centre against each other, which means this will be 0-0, and the Liverpool game on Friday night will be 0-0. But I just feel like this season is going to be very attack-minded. I think we saw in the Community Shield, I think there'll be goals going in left, right, and centre, certainly with the workload of these players and things. So I'm going to say 2-2. We'll say Harvey Barnes, brace, why not? Can't see where else the goals are coming from.
Oh, we're saying either side top bins for his goals.
2 worldies, that, yeah, completely undeserved draw.
I love it.
Like that Wolves game or whatever it was when he scored the worldie.
Oh, mate, that was unbelievable. Somehow got there. Ben, you're going to be there. Is that going to sway you? Are you feeling optimistic? Go on, what are you thinking?
Oh, God, I'm very similar one. He just said.
Ask him at 11:59 on Saturday.
I was going to say, wait till you get a few cans in and then give a prediction.
Yeah, it'll be world beaters by then. Very much what he said. The first time I've come on as well, so I kind of feel like I can't be too negative. Look, I think you've got to be positive. It's the first game of the season. I think what's happened this week, if you had asked us 3 or 4 days ago, then I probably would have. I couldn't have seen him getting a result. I think seeing new players come in behind the scenes, see players like arrive at the training ground, I think that's all going to give everybody a bit of a boost as well the last few days. I think we'll see we play a totally different way from what we'll have against Villa. I think we'll probably sit back a little bit and try and hit them on the break, because my big worry when we play Villa is always Watkins absolutely tortures Fabian Schär. And if we play a high line on Saturday with loads of grass in behind him, we're just asking for it. So I think with the personnel that we've got, it's going to be Gordon up front. We're set. The way we're going to have a chance of winning the game is by sitting back and catching them on the break. I think that's definitely our best bet, especially the way they're going to line up. There's loads of pressure on them. It's the first game of the season. They're at home. It's on TV. And the fans, like you said before, are probably expecting them to win. So I'm going to be optimistic. I can't optimistically say we're going to win the game, I'll be honest. But I can't say optimistically. I hope I'm wrong as well. See, we're scoring 2 goals. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 tight game. I think we'll be under pressure at times. I'm going to go for an Elanga first goal, catching him on the break, getting him behind Maatsen, bombing on. And I'll be over the moon. I'll be a very, very happy guy going into that. If we get a point there, going into that Liverpool game on a Monday night, which will be something else coming up. So, yeah, I'm going to go for 1-1. I think I'll be really positive, and it'll be a point that we didn't get last year as well. So, really, really good start to the season.
Lads, I really wish I shared your optimism, but I just don't. No. Let me clarify. I think this game is probably coming a little bit too early for us in terms of the whole shit show with Isak and the signings coming in, the timing of it all. I do think we're going to put in a good performance. I think the way we played against Villa in the past, especially at their place, we've not always actually put in the performance, but I think this time around we will show a lot of fight, a lot of determination. It's the only way to really start a season. Howe's not going to let them go down there and not put up a fight. However, just with the lack of sort of, we're lacking that cutting edge up front at the moment, and I can't shake that feeling that we're going to do a lot right, but we're just not going to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. I might be wrong. I'm hoping, like you say, I hope Alanga, turns up and really sets everything alight. And I might be completely wrong here, but Villa are a good side. And I think we're probably going to run out 2-0 losers. But like I say, putting in a good performance, I think we'll come away from it thinking there's a lot to be encouraged going into the season, but it was maybe just not for us that day. God, I hope I'm wrong, because obviously you want to start the season well, but realistically, I can't shake the fact that we're missing Isak, even if he's a stroppy little git at the minute. But if he comes back and scores a few goals for us, then fine.
I have stronger words that I'll save.
Save that for another one of the 40,000 podcasts that we've done with Isak in this transfer window so far.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. It just feels like it's come too soon, the game.
Yeah.
If we do,
but you know what? No,
of
course not, man. Of course not. Like, I think we've normally had we've had actually really good records. First game of the season in the past, if I remember rightly, we've typically done pretty well
against these as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but normally at our place. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see, boys. We'll see. Thank you very much for watching. This has been the first match preview of the season. Like I said, don't forget we've got so much content coming across the season. We've got the pre-match shows. We've got the Always Smiling Faces podcast. We've got loads more of these match reactions. The absolute lot. Get yourself subscribed. It's free. If you want to become a member, it's not free, but it's worth it. $2.99 a month. Get a Telegram group. You get access to members-only videos. All the rest of it. But for now, I'll say thank you very much to Andy and Ben. Boys, let's go smash them. I know that I've just said we're going to lose, but I don't care. Let's batter them up the mags. Crack on. All right. Cheers, everyone. Speak to you soon. Take care.